What's up guys, and welcome back to HM Aerobic Video Reviews. We've teamed up with New Zealand's national champion for men, Luke FISO. Luke's been to the CrossFit Games and has competed in regionals multiple times. I reached out and asked him, hey man, what are some of your weaknesses? What are some things that you want to work on? He answered back with anything overhead. So Haley and I designed a workout that we thought would challenge his overhead ability. Let's go to the whiteboard and check out that workout.
All right guys, so here's what Luke's gonna be doing today. This workout is for time. Essentially it's 5 rounds and it works like a pyramid. Each round has a 200-meter assault runner buy-in. After that, he's gonna be doing pull-ups every single round, chest bar pull-ups, and they go up like this. 10 reps, 15 reps, 20 reps, 15 reps, 10 reps, pyramid just like that. Here's the differences in each round. So for the first round, 210, 20 strict handstand push-ups, 215, 15 shoulder to overhead at 85 kilos or 185. Top of the pyramid, 220 chest bar pull-ups, 10 single arm dumbbell, clean and jerk at 30 kilos or 70 pounds, and that's gonna be for each arm, not just one arm. All right, then he goes back down the pyramid just like he did up here. So 215, 15, 210, but instead of the strict handstand push-ups, he finishes with a 100-foot handstand walk. A little confusing, but it's gonna be really fun to watch. Let's do it.
Like the shoulders are gonna get smoked. I reckon the heavy barbell is going to be the worst bit for me. Stay unbroken on the chest to bars, that should be fine. On the runner, like 12 k's an hour, roughly, pace. Hopefully we can hold that. I don't know, however that first set feels, I'll probably break one more time on top of that on the way back down. If it takes me 2 sets, I'll be doing 3 sets on the second time through.
If you guys would like for us to review your videos, feel free to tag us in a link to the video, slide into the DMs on the gram, or send us a message here on YouTube. Let us know in the comments below, send us a link, and we will superimpose our coaching tips onto your video. Without any further ado, Luke FISO. All right, so this is the first time we've ever done this with 2 people. Are you excited for this?
I'm excited, man.
We have to like stay within the green to make sure that we're not like keying out or anything like that, so bear with us. But anyway, thanks a lot for joining me, dude. I really appreciate it.
It's all good, man. This is fun.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna get you started in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, here, let's sit down. Cool, so, all right, so what was the plan when you first started going into this?
The first plan was just to look really, really good all the way through.
Check and check.
It didn't happen. I died. But like, so you sent me the workout. I thought it would take a lot longer than it actually did.
Yeah.
So I was kind of planning to feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, I think we were talking earlier how like originally the plan was, I was thinking about putting, maybe we should put like a 20-minute cap. You guys will see what happens at the end of this video, but we were like, oh man, I should really put a 20-minute cap because this may go long. I mean, I think you sent me like an estimate of 18 minutes.
Yeah, I thought 20 minutes like comfortable, and then I might feel good in certain movements and push for like 18 something, not sub 18.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, talk a little bit about like, there's a difference between running, first of all, running just by itself and running mid-WOD, and then also there's a difference between running mid-WOD and running on an assault runner. Can you talk a little bit about the difference there?
Yeah, well, I mean, like the assault runner is terrible to run on, just generally. And then I'm not the best runner, so mid-WOD kind of running, I end up shuffling a little bit.
Yeah.
And you'll see it in the workout.
Yeah.
Towards the middle.
And so were you planning on splitting these the handstand push-ups up from the get-go?
Yeah, 20's a big set for me. I got some weirdly long arms, so once I passed the 10 rep mark, I sort of thought I've got a couple more, but
I like how you're like 20's a big set for me. I'm like 20's a big set, bro. Like that's just a big set. Period.
It's a big set. Some guys with like the tiny little arms, they might be able to pump these out, but
yeah, I got some tiny arms, but I'm not hitting sets of 20. But like you were saying about the assault runner, the thing that I like about the assault runner is that, obviously if you don't have the best running technique, it allows you to kind of not destroy your knees. However, I don't know if it helps people that have those issues to fix those problems. What do you think about that?
No. Like it's totally different to running on the road. I've actually been switching some of my running back to the road after spending most of winter on the runner, and my running on the road feels so different. Better, it does feel better, but I think it's just because I'm generally fitter. But it's a different feeling.
You don't feel like you're doing just like
single leg hamstring curls every step.
Yeah, well, so earlier today I did some squats and some pulls.
Yeah.
And my legs went to jelly about the third run. I nearly fell over.
So what was your pace? What was the planned pace as far as being on the runner? Did you have like a set pace that you were going to try to hold the whole way?
Just based on like all the running I've been doing lately, I thought 12 k's an hour would be a comfortable pace to hold. What is that in miles? Like
I don't know. I'd have to get my calculator out, dude.
I got no idea. I'm not good with miles, but 12 k's an hour.
Yeah.
It's probably some obvious answer that we're just not thinking about right now, but yeah. All right, so done with the second run, and I got to tell you, dude, like I was super impressed by your ability to go super deep on the chest bar pull-ups. Like, is that something that's just always been in your wheelhouse or what?
Yeah, like my pull-ups, if you watch my kip, it's not a pretty kip. Like I don't have nice gymnastic shapes, but I reckon it's my calves help me get a good swing out of it into the hollow position, man. Like I've always found chest to bars pretty comfortable.
Dude, yeah, you got some beefy calves for sure. So, all right, so this is like the part that you were telling me before the workout. You're like, I think this is going to be an issue. How did it feel when you got there? At least for the first round.
I felt like I didn't breathe for about 90 seconds. And you'll see after the first set, that's where my running went downhill. So like it destroyed me. It actually destroyed me.
Yeah, and I think there actually is something to that, to developing this skill of being able to kind of like get back up to a working pace in running after you've done some sort, especially heavy barbell work or barbell cycling, going back into that. I mean, I'm thinking about like doing like a heavy Helen or something, like getting back into the run just sucks,
Yeah. Even just normal Helen, like if you try and run out the door on that second round at the same pace you might start off with, like it's so hard. Your heart rate's up, your breathing's up. Like going back into this run after these shoulders overheads here. Yeah. Man, I was just blowing so much. Like I know how I'm feeling now.
You crushed this though, and something I do want to point out for everybody that's watching is Luke's transition times. You don't really take too much time in between movements. Is that something that you've gotten better at over time, or is it something that you've always just kind of been inherently good at?
I think like I've always been pretty good with transitions, but definitely as I've gone to like higher and higher level competition, I've sort of realized the need for it. Yeah. You look at the top guys in the sport, Matt Fraser, Pat Vellner, he's great with this. Like their rests in between sets even, for example, if they were to break up the shoulder overheads, what they consider rest is literally just like dropping the bar and they're almost following the bar down.
Yeah. And I also think too, it's like if you're in a qualifier setting and you're competing with people on the other side of the world, it's one thing obviously to shave off those seconds, but I think there is a psychological component when you're competing in person and you make your transition time so short to where everybody else on the field is hurting just as much as you're hurting, and for you to kind of like act like this ain't shit to me, dude. Like I'm going at this pace. You can either keep up or drop off. It's up to you. Do you feel like that's something that crosses through your mind, like while you're competing in person?
Big time. Like in competition, I really enjoy that kind of mental side. If you look, one of my favorite sort of people to watch back in the day was Arnold. You watch him in Pumping Iron. Yeah. And like some of the shit talk, like some of the stuff he says to get in people's minds is so good. And obviously we can't really talk mid-WOD in CrossFit, so we got to do it with our body language and like.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Times, so like if we're going from one movement to the next and like our heads up and we look really comfortable, even if we're dying inside, that kind of signals to the other guys like, hey, I got you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a classy way to kind of like taunt, right? Like, yeah, I love it. That's great. Now this is round 3, and I'm pretty sure you just banged out 20 in a row. Like you went completely unbroken from what I remember. I mean, we'll see on the latter half of this workout, but did those just kind of feel good the whole time? Or?
Yeah, chest to bars felt pretty comfortable. Like we do, like my max set is sort of like 60 plus.
Jesus Christ.
And so I don't mind going for big sets, but I did suffer a little bit.
Okay. So talk me through the dumbbell clean and jerk. Now we should to cut you a little slack here. We didn't go over this beforehand about like, did these need to be alternating or not? Like I was like, nah, just do them.
But yeah, you decided to alternate. Do you think that helped out, or in hindsight, would you have rather done like all 10 for one arm or all 10 the other?
I guess because like most of the time we're using a single dumbbell, it's always alternating, and so I've gotten into the pretty good habit of changing.
Yeah.
But it did throw me off a little bit, and I broke the set, which I probably didn't need to do.
Yeah.
But also the 30 kilo, like what is that, 70 pound?
Yeah, 70 pounds.
Dumbbell, that threw me off a little bit because we only ever have to use 22 and a half these days, like 50 pounds.
I like how you're like, oh, we only ever have to use that. This is the most worn out 70 pound dumbbell I've ever seen in my life. Like the casing's falling out. It's like, obviously you've lived with this thing. You probably sleep with it under your pillow and everything.
I was actually having this conversation with Emma yesterday. Like I said, that 30 kilo dumbbell is like the first dumbbell I ever bought. And that was all I used until they came into the open, and 22 and a half was like the new weight.
Yeah. Obviously, do you recommend that that's a good training tool in the sense of like, if the standard is doing 50 pound dumbbells or 22 and a half, just be like, hey, you just need to get good with 30.
I think there's benefits to it. Like you get really comfortable with that heavier weight, so the lighter weight feels easy. But there's like an element of speed that you can't do with a heavier weight. So if you go into a competition and you're used to braking at this point or moving at this speed, and then suddenly you can go faster, but you don't have that gear, I think that kind of might
we've talked about this in previous like episodes of this, where moving at game speed is such a huge deal, especially with people at your level and Haley's level and stuff, where it's like, if you're not, you can do all the volume in the world, but if you're not moving fast enough, especially in like a 10-minute AMRAP, like you're just not going to win. Like what's an example of a movement that you had to kind of like work on your game speed, even at lighter weights?
Like even still now, toes to bar was something that like I can't scoop them. Like I've tried, I've tried so much to, the fast scoop for a toes to bar. It blows me out so quickly. Well, I have the ability to do it. But I know I have like a very low limit of
And then you got to weigh the cost benefits too, because it's like, the cost to being able to do that technique may not be worth the benefit of going a little faster, because you may be splitting your reps up more and having to take time off. All right, 1 sec. I think we have to switch the video here in a sec. Oh yeah, 10 seconds. We don't have to switch yet. But yeah, dude, these just look fantastic.
I was getting some good, like my breathing was really good on this. I was quite happy with that.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, is being able to like breathe while doing these very uncomfortable movements, I think is a huge skill. Do you find that you're pretty good at doing that in hanging movements, or? Yeah,
hanging movements like muscle ups, toes to bar, chest to bar, definitely.
All right, so when
like the opposite with this.
I was just gonna ask you that. Okay, so when we designed this workout, we designed this specifically for Luke because I texted him. I was like, hey, what do you need to work on? And he was like, anything overhead. So we just threw the kitchen sink at him and stuff. Do you feel like it's a breathing issue or like a positional issue for you? Like, what do you think's the trouble there? What do you think's the limiter?
Like you can see my position when I'm over here. Like my back is extended quite a bit. My shoulders don't fully open, and then like my breathing, I'm sputtering when I'm trying to breathe. Versus the chest to bars, I'm able to breathe pretty comfortably. So
what are some things that you're doing to kind of work on that, or just get more comfortable in that position?
just doing more of it, man. Like honestly,
lots of more.
I like to say that I'm doing heaps of mobility stuff, but I've been trying for the last sort of 2 years on overhead mobility, and
it's tough, man.
Man, I swear, like in CrossFit, like we tighten it all up from all the stuff we do, and then we try to get it loosened back up from the mobility work.
I mean, there's so many boxes to check, like you only have so much time. On top of that, you may be kind of busy running a gym, so you might have to devote some time to that as well. But yeah, so I think for this last set here, you went, was it 654?
654, yeah.
Dude, you moved so well through that. And then, again, right after that, immediately onto the runner, getting it started, monitors on, and you're going. That was like, what, a 5-second transition, 6, 7?
It felt a lot longer in the workout. But my pace here, so I'm down to like just hanging on to 10 k's an hour on the runner now. My legs feel like they're going to give way under me. So my quads were cramping on that last set of shots overhead, actually.
Yeah. So if I may pepper in a little critique there, like when you are tired, something that would definitely help, I think, is getting all your momentum to go forward. You can see the shoulders kind of like turning to and fro, and a lot of energy going this way and that way. So I think definitely, and you're pretty good about it at the beginning, but like you said, once you get torched, like you're just hanging on, just using any bit of energy is left.
Yeah, totally, man. I even noticed, like, just watching this video, I hang to the left of the runner quite a bit. I'm not sure.
Interesting, yeah. Do you think maybe because that's like favoring like one leg or something like that?
Maybe.
That's
honestly, I've
interesting.
never ever noticed it. It doesn't even feel like it when I'm on there.
It'd be really interesting if we go and look and one side of the runner is just completely worn out, just warped.
Maybe it is, man.
Yeah. All right, so this is the final run, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And you look pretty torched here. One thing that's good though is that like a lot, especially after doing all this overhead work, a lot of people start like hunching over and like letting the chest collapse, which can really kind of screw your breathing up. But you stayed pretty tall in that. Like, was that something you were thinking about?
I think it's just my running technique. Like, I came from a sort of sprinting background. Like, rugby, I was an outside back, which is like the fast guys.
Yeah.
and sprinting athletics background.
Yeah.
So I run quite tall. And
Yeah.
people are actually giving me a hard time about this, but I do look quite strange when I'm running like a 5K even.
Just because you're so tall?
Yeah, like I'm like bouncing. It looks a bit silly, but that's just how I run.
All right, so into the handstand walk. This is the last stretch right here.
It's a great scorpion.
Yeah. Hey, whatever it takes, man. Do you typically do kind of like the run with your legs as you're walking?
Yes, especially when I'm this tired.
Yeah. And at this point, was it kind of your arms that were blown up, or more midline?
I think my arms and shoulders are just a bit loose.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't get over enough. Like,
Yeah.
they weren't opening up fully.
Yeah.
And that's, like I said to you afterwards, like that's the first time I've fallen in a handstand walk for a long time.
So, I mean, while you're dying during this part of the workout, I'm sitting here looking at the clock. I'm like, there's no way he's going to finish this under 15 minutes. Like, this blew my mind. So kudos to you, bro. Like, that was so impressive to watch.
I have been doing
Spoiler
a lot
alert.
a lot of work on the handstand walking since the open workout with the deadlift.
Yeah.
So that one, in the past for me, that would be a terrible workout.
Really?
My shoulders would give way. I find it really hard to quickly turn around after a set, even if it's 25 feet, 50 feet, 100.
Yeah, no, I'm the same
As soon
way.
as I'm down.
Haley's so good at it. Like, and I think it might have something to do with the gymnastic background, or like the fact that, like, I mean, I look a lot closer to you when I do handstand walks. Like, I feel like there's a lot more muscle involved, whereas like Haley, it looks like she's just kind of like shifting her lats back and forth.
Yeah.
But yeah, boom, touch the wall, 1450. That's a solid time, bro.
I was so happy with that. I mean, not at that moment, I'm hurting, but
Yeah.
surprised myself.
Yeah, I mean, dude, yeah. I mean, so one of the key things that, you know, elites do is they take really difficult things and make them aerobic or cyclical. What kind of work have you put in prior to, you know, competing that you feel helps out with that? Is it more the long aerobic type of things for you, more interval work? Like, what helps you the most? Or just Metcons, like?
Definitely like the longer aerobic stuff.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time on a rower.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite sort of aerobic piece.
Yeah.
But even lately I've been spending a bit more time on the runner because I'm so bad at it.
Yeah, and especially like having a rugby background, like in the sprinting, like you're probably really great at utilization of oxygen and stuff. So like definitely getting better at uptake of oxygen and stuff. Like, and that's done with the longer cyclical work and stuff. But yeah, dude, absolutely, dude, fantastic work.
Thanks, man.
I'm not doing that. Come on. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, Luke, for joining me.
Josh.
We'll have to get you in here for another one of these, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. All right. Talk to you guys later. See ya.